EFCC and FBI should investigate all the Premier League teams. Because tell me why West Ham are demanding over £85 million for Mateus Fernandes. Are you telling me that a relegated player is more expensive than Benjamin Sesko, than Sidney Lemens, than Mateus Cunha, than Mbeumo? Hell no, the game is gone. How much is Aston Villa now going to sell Morgan Rogers if Mateus Fernandes is worth £85 million? Even Nottingham Forest will be looking at Man City right now and saying, no, we are not going to sell Elliot Anderson for £120 million. If you ask me, I think United should just leave Mateus Fernandes and go for a cheaper option like Alex Scott. Because for around 50 to 55 million, you get a better deal for him. He has 2 years left on his contract. And I have watched this boy play at Bournemouth. I can tell you one thing, that this boy is one of the most intelligent young midfielders in England right now.
Manchester United's transfer window no longer looks like just a normal rebuild. It has become a pressure test. And right at the center of that pressure test is West Ham midfielder Mateus Fernandes, a player coming from a relegated side, but being valued like a top 6 midfielder. That is exactly the point, dividing the fan. One side believes United need a young, technical, Premier League proven midfielder. The other side believes this could be the same old United mistake, hype, desperation, and then an inflated fee. For West Ham, this situation is not simple. If the club is under financial pressure, then they have to demand a premium for their biggest assets. But United also do not want to be seen as the club that walks into every negotiation looking like a desperate buyer. That is why the structure of the deal is being discussed. A lower guaranteed fee, add-ons, staggered payments, and an attempt to make the deal smarter. The drama gets even deeper, because Fernandes is not only a United target. Names like Arsenal, Real Madrid, and PSG are also floating in the background. That means West Ham may want a bidding war. United may want quick clarity, and the players' camp will be calculating the best career move. This is not just a transfer, this is a test of whether Manchester United have truly become smarter in the market, or whether they will fold again under headline pressure.
Hi everyone, hope you're well. Chris Cowling here. This is the 60-second Spurs news update. Sky Sports have just reported that Tottenham are now close to finalising a new 4-year deal with right-back Pedro Porro. Porro has had interest from other clubs, but is now ready to recommit to Spurs under boss Roberto De Zerbi. His existing deal expires in 2028. Pedro Porro, whilst on international duty, has been talking about last season. He said it was really tough, but everything turned out great, and that's what matters most. Roberto De Zerbi came in and kept us in the Premier League. It was a very difficult season, just like the one before, I'd say, because last season we won the Europa League.
Tottenham's story is completely different. This is not a club being pressured into selling, this is a club sending a message. Pedro Porro being linked with clubs like Real Madrid and Manchester City is not a small thing. Usually, when a Spanish international, attacking fullback, and prime-age player is being watched by clubs like Madrid or City, the selling club's fans go into panic mode. But Spurs' stance looks clear. Porro is part of the project, not a product for the market. For Roberto De Zerbi, Porro is not just a right back. In modern football, a fullback has become half playmaker, half winger, and half defender. Porro's delivery, aggression, attacking timing, and ball progression can play a huge role in Spurs' system. That is why a new contract is not just a salary raise, it is a dressing room statement. The club is saying that when the manager sees a player as a core piece, that player will be protected from market noise. The drama in this story is that Tottenham have often faced uncertainty around the future of their best players in recent years. But in Porro's case, Spurs are trying to change their image. If they manage to hold him despite interest from Real Madrid and City, it will be a signal to fans that the De Zerbi era is not just about rebuilding, it is also about resistance. And sometimes in the transfer market, the best signing is the one you refuse to sell. Marc Cucurella's situation looks calm on the surface, but underneath, this could become an uncomfortable story for Chelsea. Publicly, the player is saying that he is focused on the World Cup. That is the professional answer. But in football, sometimes, "I'm not thinking about the market right now," means the final decision will come after the tournament. And that is exactly what makes Chelsea fans nervous. Cucurella's Chelsea career has been a roller coaster. Criticism, redemption, big moments with Spain, and now transfer links again. Atletico Madrid's interest is interesting because in a Simeone-style system, a fullback like Cucurella, aggressive, intense, and high energy, makes sense. The Barcelona angle is more emotional because he has a former Barca background, but Barcelona's decisions will depend on Balde and overall squad balance. The problem for Chelsea is that if the player returns after a strong World Cup, his value will rise and the interest around him will grow. But if Chelsea see him as an important part of the team, they need to take a clear stance quickly. Otherwise, the narrative will move into the hands of the media. Cucurella wants Spain return. Chelsea could lose another star. Atletico, ready to push. This is the type of drama that is not a direct fight, but it can split a fan base for weeks. The player says nothing, agents work quietly, and clubs wait to see who makes the first serious move after the World Cup.
Brighton have made a £30 million bid for Vuskovic, the teenage centre-back, 19 years of age. He's currently at the World Cup with Croatia. He established himself as one of the world's best young centre-backs on loan in Germany with Hamburg this past season. Vuskovic's performances with Hamburg earning him a place in the Bundesliga team of the season. And of course it comes at a time when Tottenham are trying to sign Jan-Paul van Hecke from Brighton.
Tottenham's transfer window does not look like a straight rebuild. On one side, the club are making Pedro Porro untouchable. On the other side, a young defender like Luka Vuskovic has suddenly appeared on Brighton's radar. And that is the point that could confuse Spurs fans. Because if Vuskovic really is seen as one of the most exciting young centre-backs in Europe, then why would Tottenham risk his future? Everyone knows Brighton's model. They identify young talent, develop it, multiply the value, and then sell to bigger clubs. So if Brighton are pushing for Vuskovic, it means they seriously rate the player's upside. For Tottenham, that should be a warning sign. Because the player you see as tomorrow's star could become Brighton's opportunity today. The young Paul van Hecke connection adds even more drama to the story. Spurs want a Premier League-ready defender. Brighton are looking at Tottenham's young prospect, and fans will naturally ask, is this smart squad planning or short-term panic? De Zerbi wants to build his system, but fans also need assurance that the club is not selling the future just to patch the present.
Bradley Barcola to their transfer shortlist this summer transfer window. As you may know, football fans, Mohamed Salah will leave the club at the end of this season, and his time is running out very, very quickly.
If United's story is a midfield war, then Arsenal and Liverpool's story could become a winger war. Bradley Barcola's name is interesting because he is not just a normal transfer target. He is a young, high-ceiling, highlight-friendly PSG winger, exactly the type of profile that attracts both YouTube audiences and Premier League clubs. From Arsenal's angle, the question is simple. Does Arteta want to make his attack even more ruthless? Arsenal are already competing at an elite level, but title-winning teams never stay static. If there is a chance to upgrade the left side, rotation, or direct pace, a player like Barcola becomes tempting. For Liverpool, the story is even more dramatic. Wide forwards have always been a huge part of the identity at Anfield. If Liverpool are in the market for a new explosive winger, fans will automatically see him as the next big attacking chapter. From PSG's side, the issue is also clear. Having talent at a big club is not enough. A player needs trust, minutes, and a role in the biggest games. If Barcola feels that his role at PSG is becoming limited, then the Premier League pool could become dangerous. And when clubs like Arsenal and Liverpool are linked, PSG come under pressure. Sell high, renew, or convince the player.
Which club in the Premier League are you expecting to be the busiest this summer?
I think an Arsenal will do some eye-catching business, no doubt. They're Premier League champions, Champions League finalists, but really they need to just add bits and bobs to what they've already built. So I don't think their volume will be the highest, but maybe some of their quality will.
Now the real question is, who blinks first? If Manchester United move aggressively for Mateus Fernandes, West Ham will have a choice. Hold firm on the premium price or accept a structured deal under financial pressure. If Real Madrid or Arsenal become serious in the background, United's calm negotiation could suddenly turn into a panic race. For Tottenham, the next few weeks are just as important. Locking Pedro Porro into a new contract would be a huge morale boost for the fans. But if the Luka Vuskovic situation with Brighton becomes serious, those same fans will start asking questions about the club's strategy. Protecting one star while considering the future of an elite young prospect is a balance Spurs must handle carefully. For Chelsea, Cucurella's answer will become clearer after the World Cup. If Atletico push, if Barcelona's appreciation turns into a real move, or if the players' camp sends Chelsea a message, This could become one of those slow-burning transfer sagas where public statements are calm, but behind-the-scenes movement keeps building. And for Arsenal and Liverpool, a player like Barcola would not just be a signing, it could be a statement. Premier League champions, top 4 rebuilds, World Cup performances, and PSG squad planning are all colliding in the same market. That is why this window does not feel normal. This is the moment where clubs prove their ambition. Players choose their next status, and fans watch every update with a mix of drama, betrayal, and hope. Now everyone is waiting for one thing. Who drops the first domino?